Hello and welcome to Glendale, Arizona for what will be our final race for the season before the World Finals. And by last race, I mean it this time. We have 16 trucks. Most of them have not had their chance into the World Finals yet. So at least one of these people will have a chance in the World Finals. So let's explain how this track will work. Here we have our Beam Monsters monster truck here yet again. Anyway, they will start on this side of the stadium at these poles and behind the starting line. They will then go off down this little bit of straightaway here, take a slight turn into yet another straightaway, try to make their way around this crush car, and then they'll have to jump up a ramp here, go across the finish line, but they're not done yet. Assuming they land better than Beam Monsters did, they'll have to make their way around this car again, proceed to go down the straightaways they did earlier, make this turn here that once again they made earlier, and then go up the ramp and across the finish line. And as always, whoever makes it across the finish line first will be the winner. So, let us move on to our very first competitor. Our first trucks up for round one are Mechanical Mischief and Axe. Off the starting line they go, entering the straightaway, both trucks roaring down as they come into the first turn. Mechanical Mischief with the lead over Axe. Mechanical Mischief entering the second turn here, takes the turn rather well. Axe clips one of the crush cars. Down the final straightaway into the final turn. Looks like Mechanical Mischief will be the winner here, and they will. Mechanical Mischief is moving on to round 2. Up next we have Wildside and Brutus. Off the starting line they go, into the straightaway. Wildside and Brutus taking a little bit wide there in the turn. Fairly even as they go up the first jump. Into the second turn, both trucks taking it fairly well. Into the final turn, Wildside with a slight edge. Into the final turn, Brutus clips the crush car, and Wildside will beat Brutus across the finish line, and Brutus rolls it over after the finish line. And right back onto his wheels. Up next we have Sting and Max D. Now Max D already has a ticket into the World Finals, but if the red Max D wins, well then we'll have two Max Ds at the World Finals. Into the turn, both trucks go. Both of them having a little bit of trouble in the turn. They're fairly even going up the ramp. Max D having some trouble entering the turn here. Both trucks heading down the straightaway into the next turn. Looks like Sting might have it here if Max D can catch up, and it will be Sting who moves on to round 2. Unclipping the ramp and breaking their wheel. Let's see if they can get that fixed for the next round. Up next we have Gravedigger and Enforcer. Off the starting line they go, down the straightaway, into the first turn. Enforcer taking it rather wide here. Gravedigger taking it a little bit too tight here. Enforcer pulls ahead with the air time that they get. Flips the crush car there. Both trucks are fairly even coming down the straightaway into the final turn. Enforcer seems to have taken the turn better than Gravedigger, and it will be Enforcer who moves it on to round 2. Up next we have Shattered and Jester. Down the starting line, both trucks go. Through the straightaway, Shattered kind of into the racing line a little bit. Both trucks taking a bit wide, but Jester seems to take it better. Up the ramp, both trucks go. A little bit of an awkward bounce for both trucks here. Jester takes that second turn very nicely. Chainsaw down to this final turn here. Jester with the lead so far. Into the final turn, Enforcer has problems with the turn, and it will be Shattered, who takes the win. And we'll move on to round 2. Up next, we have Mohawk Warrior and Bulldozer. Off the starting line, both trucks go into the straightaway. Entering turn 1, Bulldozer seems to take the turn a little bit better than Mohawk Warrior. A little bit of an awkward landing for Mohawk Warrior. Bulldozer pulls ahead. Bulldozer's practically up to turn 3 as Mohawk Warrior comes out of turn 2. Bulldozer almost turning over in the turn. And it will be Bulldozer who takes the win over Mohawk Warrior. For our second to last race of round 1, we have Reckless Drivin' and the Punisher. Into the straightaway they go, engines roaring into turn 1. Reckless Drivin' taking it a little bit tight, Punisher taking it wide. Reckless Drivin' with the slight lead. Into turn 2, both trucks go. Punisher catching up as Reckless Driving takes it wide. Down the straightaway, both trucks go. Punisher taking the turn much better than Reckless Driving. And it will be the Punisher who beats Reckless Driving. And our final race for round 1, we have Monster Energy and Kamikaze. Off the starting line, both trucks go. Into turn 1, Kamikaze taking an absolutely beautiful turn, it seems. Monster Energy having some trouble. Let's see if Kamikaze can keep this up. Into turn 2, Kamikaze with the slight lead. Into the final turn. Kamikaze once again taking an absolutely beautiful turn. It looks like, can Monster Energy catch up? It doesn't look like it. Kamikaze will move on to round 2. Here we have our bracket leading into round 2. Half of our field has been eliminated, which means we have 8 more trucks. All of them have an equal chance of going into the World Finals, but only one will. So, with that, let's move on to round 2. Starting off round 2, we have Mechanical Mischief and Wildside. Off they go, down the starting line. Into the straightaway, both trucks absolutely roaring. Wildside takes the turn, Mechanical Mischief taking it tight. Wildside seems to have a slight lead over Mechanical Mischief. Into the next turn, Wildside and Mechanical Mischief taking it. Mechanical Mischief flips one of the cars, takes it wide in the straightaway. Down to the final turn here, Wildside still has a slight lead. And it will be Wildside who takes the win over Mechanical Mischief. Tumbles around a little bit, loses the hood, but Wildside seems fine. Up next we have Enforcer over in the left lane and Sting in the right lane. Sting got their wheel fixed after last race. Here they are, down the straightaway they go. Into the first turn, Enforcer taking it a bit funky there. Both trucks fairly even, going across the finish line for the first time. Into the next turn they go. Enforcer taking it nice and tight. Sting takes it wide. Down the straightaway they go into the final turn. Enforcer taking the turn much better than Sting, and it will be Enforcer who wins round 2. Sting having some trouble after the landing, but seems to recover. Up next we have Bulldozer and Shatter. Offy they go, down the starting line. Into the first turn they go. Shatter takes it rather wide, Bulldozer slides across, jumps the crush car. Shatter takes the lead. Bulldozer seems to have caught up and takes the turn wide again. They caught up to Shatter, down the straightaway they go into the final turn. Shattered takes the turn rather nice, much better than Bulldozer, and it will be Shattered who moves on to the semifinals. Our final race for round 2 sees Kamikaze against the Punisher. Down the starting line they go. Kamikaze's engine just absolutely roaring into the first turn. Punisher having some trouble in the turn. Kamikaze clips the center ramp and goes sideways. Both trucks bounce off of the track into the next turn. Punisher takes it rather nice. Kamikaze as well. Down the straightaway into the final turn. Kamikaze taking the turn far tighter than the Punisher, and it will be Kamikaze who moves on. Alright, we started out with 16 trucks, and now we're only down to 4. Only one of these will win the World Finals, so let us move on into the semifinals. Up first we have Enforcer and Wildside. Off the starting line they go. Into the straightaway, both trucks absolutely going down there fast. Into the first turn, Enforcer takes it tight. Wildside having some trouble in that turn. Enforcer with a huge lead over Wildside into the next turn. Wildside seems to be caught up a little bit, but is it enough for the win? Enforcer takes the final turn. Wildside has some trouble over the crush car, and it will be Enforcer who takes the win for the semifinals. And finally, we have Kamikaze and Shattered. Off the starting line they go. Down the straightaway into the first turn. Both trucks seem to take it rather wide here. Fairly even, going across the finish line for the first time. Shattered going up on 2 wheels. Both trucks enter the final turn, or the second to last turn here. Down the straightaway into the final turn now. Kamikaze seems to take it faster than Shattered, and Kamikaze will beat Shattered across the finish line. Over in the right lane, we have Kamikaze. They've had some pretty good races so far. Let's see if they can keep it up going into the final round here. And in the left lane, we have Enforcer. They've had some good races, they've had some okay races, but only one of these 2 trucks will make it into the World Finals here in racing. So, let's get on to the final round. Here they are, Enforcer and Kamikaze. One of them will make it to the World Finals. And off they go, down the starting line, in through the straightaway, into the first turn. Both trucks taking it their own way. Kamikaze taking it nice and smooth, Enforcer taking it tight and has the slight lead over Kamikaze. Enforcer having some trouble in the lane here. Down through the second turn. Kamikaze has a slight lead, but it's all down to this final turn here. Kamikaze taking the turn, and it will be Kamikaze who moves on and wins the final round. Kamikaze will be moving on to the World Finals here. Enforcer goes to drive back into the pit area. Kamikaze trying to get themselves back on all 4 wheels to begin their celebratory freestyle run. And with that, we just have one more slot to fill into the World Finals, and we will determine that over in Freestyle. So, you can watch Kamikaze's celebratory freestyle here, and then Freestyle will be up next. So, I'll see you in Freestyle.